over the weekend, deadly tornadoes hit 6 different Midwestern and southern states. One of the states the hardest hit was Kentucky. Now, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says that as of right now, or at least as of Monday morning, there were 64 confirmed dead and 105 people unaccounted for. That is so far. He added that it could take weeks before a total number of fatalities, as well as the full extent of the damage, is known. At least 18 different counties had suffered massive damage from these storms. So this was a gigantic storm. And so incredibly deadly. In fact, Biden has declared the storms a major disaster area and has authorized an immediate federal response. Now, according to the Washington Post, that declaration makes federal funding available for storm victims for several Kentucky counties. In fact, the assistance available to residents affected by the storm includes grants for temporary housing, home repair, and low-cost loans to cover uninsured property losses. Biden also ordered federal aid to supplement other state and local recovery efforts. So now all of that is just a response to the storm, a reaction, if you will. Now, the head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, this is Deanne Criswell, had an interview with Jake Tapper on Sunday morning. And so they talked about this, and she brings up a great point about how this, yes, we're doing everything we can, but understand that this is not normal, but it is becoming normal. Take a look.
How unusual is it to see a storm this powerful this late in the year?
You know, I think it's incredibly unusual. We do see tornadoes in December. That part is not unusual. But at this magnitude, I don't think we've ever seen one this late in the year, but it's also historic. Even the severity and the amount of time this tornado or these tornadoes spent on the ground is unprecedented.
And scientists warn that extreme weather events such as this one will only happen more frequently as the climate continues to warm. Is your agency, is FEMA, equipped to handle this new normal?
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
All right, so let me give you some details about this, because what she's right is that what she's saying is 100%. Now, tornadoes themselves aren't unusual. Now, the timing of this, of course, is sort of unusual. In fact, look, even where I live in Michigan, we've been seeing some pretty warm temperatures. You know, I think we're almost 50 degrees right now. But that specific instance, you can't just point at climate change and say, aha, that's the direct result. You have to look at trends. You have to look at, you know, all the different data over a longer period of time to really point at climate change being the driver of this. And of course, when you look at the driver of climate change, or I should say climate change is the driver of weather events, you also have to look at what's driving climate change in the first place, which you look at, and you'll find that it's an activity. But now, what they looked at, though, and what they found very unusual is the strength of the storm, which is definitely something you can tie back to climate change. Now, they said the storm had traveled about 250 miles across Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, and Kentucky over the course of about 3 hours. That storm was going about 50 miles an hour. Damn. That storm was booking. Wow. Now, the powerful thunderstorm system that gave rise to the tornadoes was a result of unseasonably warm, humid air combined with a cold front that was created by the La Nina weather system, or weather pattern, that the U.S. is experiencing. And so tornadoes themselves, generally, and I've been through one before, they're frightening. They usually last a few minutes. However, Friday night storms, according to experts, were helped by strong wind shear, which appeared to have prevented the twisters from dissipating, meaning they were on the ground, they had lasted much longer, and therefore had a much longer, more devastating effect. So while these conditions, by the way, scientists say were unique, they do say that it's difficult to clearly attribute that to climate change. I think that scientists are being a little too conservative here, but at the same time, they do say that the consensus is that a warming climate will lead to more of these types of storms, meaning that they will become more and more normal. So now another result that's possible of the warming climate that has been noted is that Tornado Alley is actually moving. It's moving eastward from its original Kansas, Oklahoma area into the Mississippi River Valley and Ohio River Valley, where Friday's tornadoes took place. So again, that moves, and you're going to see more tornadoes there, which means it's a new tornado alley. Great. Now look, overall, I think we're seeing what was projected by scientific models for a long time. Warmer temperatures, stronger storms, deadlier wildfires as well. Climate change, in my estimation, and I think in the scientific community's estimation, is already here. And that's it. And look, to those who don't believe in it still, and there are people that exist, you can only ignore it until it impacts you. And sure, you can say, well, when it happens, oh, nobody could have seen this one coming. Well, we did, though. We all did. And again, we have politicians in this country that ignore it. I have politicians that are paid off by fossil fuel companies. Some politicians that even own fossil fuel companies, like Joe Manchin, that are making it so that we're not making any investments, or I should say divestments away from fossil fuel and investments into alternative energy that is carbon neutral or carbon free. And so, look, we've gotten to the point, and we've already been at this point for a while. We should have started decades ago. We have to do something about it. And unfortunately, I don't see a lot of action here by politicians that, again, politicians take bribes from big oil, so I'm not necessarily surprised by it. But we got to do something about it. I mean, facts are facts, and we have to stop making it worse just so that some elitist oil executive makes an extra dollar. We've got to do something. They think, though, and this is how they think, that these politicians that are bought off. Your house gets leveled by a freak twister. That's a sad day for you. That's not my problem. That's your problem. And I'm here to say that no, it is everyone's problem. We all share the same climate here, and we all need these solutions. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.